Happy Wednesday. Welcome, everybody, to Around the Block. I'm Heather Holman, and this is...
Jacqueline Ferris.
And that is...
It's D'Anthony.
Yeah.
And he is here with us, producing our show
Yes.
this wonderful Wednesday.
Yes, and we're glad you're here with us, too.
Yeah.
As always, we have a lot of fun things to talk about, crazy things to talk about, actual news you can use, tips, you name it, personal stories, why we're weird. The list goes on and on and on. So before we get to anything, Jacqueline was telling me right before this show about her pet lizard. I want to hear more.
So his name is Puff the Magic Dragon, a bearded dragon.
Mm-hmm.
We've had him probably 4 years now. He's a big cricket fan. He eats a lot of crickets, but he's totally tame. You can carry him around like a Beanie Baby. When my son was younger, he would just snuggle him on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
You can carry Puff everywhere. He's great.
That sounds awesome because I was telling you, I also had a bearded dragon when I was a kid, and it was mean, and it would bite me when I would try to put crickets in. And I'd had two previous lizards of different species,
I'm not sure.
and they were nice. They were great. They'd hang on my shirt, and I'd pet them all day long. This one was so mean, and I was 10, and I accidentally I didn't know. I put too many crickets in the terrarium, and they ate him. So
maybe they knew it wasn't very nice.
Yeah, maybe they were like, burn, you need to die. But anyway, I think that's super interesting that yours is sweet, and it's named Puff the Magic Dragon. I love that.
He's very sweet. So I'm actually really surprised to hear that yours was not tame and docile.
No, and I bought him at a pet store way back in the late 80s. What else do you have for a pet?
I have a betta fish.
A betta fish.
I mean, that changes pretty quick. So that's a pretty short life cycle at my house.
Yeah. So we went through 4 blue males, the real fancy schmancy ones. We went through 4 of them without Briar, when Briar was little, like 3 years old, without Briar even knowing.
Oh, yeah.
She had named the fish Jaja. So he had Jaja 1, Jaja 2, Jaja 3, and she didn't know, and I would just trade them out whenever they die. And then on the 4th one, they didn't have any males anywhere. I went to 3 pet stores, so I got a female, without all of the fancy, and she comes home and she looks, and she's like 4 by this point, and she goes, Jaja lost weight!
She's on Ozempic.
Yeah. So... No, she shrunk. That's what she said. It was so funny.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. So the things that we do for our kids to prevent heartbreak.
Yeah.
But then when she was old enough, we did have a fish going away ceremony via the toilets, and a thank you for your service to our family.
Yeah. I have buried so many. I've had many a funeral at our house for pets. We pet chicken. Took it to urgent care. My husband was furious. I took the chicken to urgent care. And then
I've just never heard that.
Funeral for it.
Do they treat chickens there?
I think they put it to sleep.
Oh, okay.
I think that was all they could do. I think they thought I was crazy for showing up with this pet chicken.
But you love that. Just shows what a big heart you have.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, was it just in distress, or how did you know?
It had been eaten by one of its friends, and it ate its head off.
And it was alive? Wait, what?
It's not for daytime TV, but they pecked at each other. They pecked it to death.
Okay, but you went and had it put to sleep.
Yes.
So it's still alive.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. That's sad.
It's not a great way to start our Wednesday, but
well, it's not a great story, but that just shows that you're compassionate and you love all living things, and I think that's precious.
Big pet person.
Yes. How did everybody sleep last night? Because I did not.
Why?
I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. I fell asleep around 11. Woke up at 2:30 in the morning, just wide awake. Never went back to sleep at all. And so I just looked up stories for this show.
Well,
and I have some saved for tomorrow.
That's great.
How did you sleep?
I didn't sleep great, but that's not uncommon. So,
D'Anthony, you're not talking.
Oh, sorry. I slept great.
Okay, well, you're the only one.
Jerry not
Rub it in.
Up last night?
No, he was. He has a little spot out on the porch now. I have chicken wire and all that. And
good job.
Oh, you got some yesterday? Okay, good.
I had to.
Yeah, Jerry's been literally hanging off of the second story balcony, getting stuck between the slats. So we were talking yesterday about the possibility of chicken wire. Where'd you go to get it?
Lowe's.
So, has he tried to push through it or anything?
Yeah, he's tried, and like I've caught him, and
Hmm.
like the second time he did it, I just leaned on my like doorway, and I'm just watching, like, okay, yeah, try. And there was one time like he got like his like whole arm through, and I'm like, okay, and now
Hmm.
I got to get up and make
Help
sure it's
him.
fixed. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, good. Hopefully that will train him and keep him safe.
yeah. And that neighbor that said, "Oh, sucks to be you," seeing my cat hanging, your day's gonna come. Your day's gonna
Yeah, well, karma took
Yeah.
note.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hmm
yeah, that will be happening for sure. For those of you who didn't hear the story, his cat was hanging literally from the second story,
Hmm.
and the neighbor just came out and was like, "Oh, sucks to be you. Not let me help, or I'll go down to the first
Right.
floor."
hmm
Nothing. So,
I hope he stubs his toe.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
them's fighting words right there.
Hmm.
Okay, so our first story of the day is this 9-year-old hero. Super sweet story. He was recently honored for saving his mom.
Yes.
He called 911. His name is Austin Query, and he is the one there on the right in the front. And just did a wonderful thing. So this is the fire department, obviously, but he noticed that his mother, um, without hesitation, he rushed in to call
Hmm.
911 because she was passed out on the floor, I believe. And so, to celebrate his bravery, firefighters presented Austin with a certificate. And you're going to have to read that. My eyes are
Okay.
not working today.
I
I need my
love this
reading
story
glasses.
because this is a local story, Oklahoma City Police and Fire and Rescue. And so, Austin, where are we? They celebrated his bravery, yes, with a certificate and then brand new fishing gear and a gift card. So Austin must be a fishing
Wow, look at all that.
enthusiast.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. I would, you don't ever think about stuff like that, but how brave for him to jump in and not be nervous and panic, but to know to check her breathing and see if there was a pulse
Hmm.
and to call 911 and to be an adult and just step in there
That must be his mother there
and
to the
not be
left. Oh, no,
nervous.
behind him. So
Yeah.
behind him, that's his mom. Okay. That is so sweet. And I love that, when you teach kids dial 911
Hmm.
and they actually do it and he stayed calm the whole time. I think
Right.
that's fantastic. What
Very
a
cool.
cute little
What
boy.
an honor. And I'm really happy that the fire department here in Oklahoma City stepped up and recognized him for this bravery.
Yes. And it seems like for him, being a hero is just part of his family because his dad is a detective,
Hmm.
his aunt works for EMSA, and his grandfather is a retired police officer. So,
Something tells me we'll see him wearing a uniform in the future.
yeah, he'll be another first responder. He
Yeah.
already kind of is.
I know.
But I mean, what a lifelong honor to have that. How cool is it to have that certificate
Yeah.
for the rest of your life that you helped save your mama's life? I think
What
that's
a nice
precious.
young man.
And it's nice that they took part and honored him like that. That's a great, great thing that they will never forget. Okay, so this next story,
Hmm. I'm excited about it.
holy cow. Okay, this woman from Massachusetts and her dad
Hmm.
go to Arizona and they're big fans of taking pictures of the nighttime sky. So that's exactly what she was doing at the Grand
Hmm.
Canyon, looking up, taking a picture, and her mouth was open. And she knew that there were things flying around her, but between her camera and her mouth,
Right.
something got stuck. So she screamed and it flew into her mouth, and it was a bat.
I know.
And then she goes, spits it out. This is her. She says it tasted earthy and sweet.
Yeah.
So it was in there long enough for her to get a good taste of it. That's her dad. I can't even imagine.
I cannot imagine, but I totally can see how that happened. I see how it happened. She was out at night taking nature photography in the middle of nowhere, Arizona, probably.
This is
to
Horseshoe
get
Bend, yeah.
Great night sky. Look
Mhm.
at that. It's pretty plausible to happen. I can see it happening to me, honestly.
So look at those pictures. They look professional. Her name's Erica Kahn. And she and her dad,
Wow.
yes, were out. They travel all over, and this was a
Mhm.
bucket list trip for them. The problem is her dad's a doctor, and he said, "Okay, you're not taking any chances. We're going to the hospital so you to get a first round of rabies shots." So because they were traveling, she had got to go 4 different hospitals. Her bills totaled $21,000
Wow.
because she did not have insurance. She'd recently lost her job and she couldn't afford Cobra federal health insurance.
Mhm.
So now she's stuck with this terrible memory and a $21,000
bill.
bill.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's unfortunate. But anyway, I
That's
mean,
very unfortunate. And man, two things. She and Ozzy Osbourne have something in common now.
but Ozzy's bat was dead.
Correct. But
Yeah.
they both had a bat in the mouth.
Oh, God, gross.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that bat was looking for a little tiny cave. You know, it's like,
Yes,
I'm just
in
going to
her
fly
mouth.
in there.
Yeah.
Look, an
Man.
opening. Yeah, wow, something to think about. The most memorable camping trip I've ever had
Mhm.
was that we rented a cave for $50 for the night at Alabaster Cavern State Park.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, sounds cool. Until you trek up there.
Mhm.
I'm picturing like, oh, this is going to be a super touristy thing. You just drive right up to it, concrete area to park. No, you park a quarter mile away. So because I'm picturing it being super touristy, I brought a rolling suitcase
I knew
and I had
you
to
would.
and I had to trek it in a quarter mile. And then on top of that, you get to this actual primitive cave. And right in front of the cave is a drop off. I cannot believe they rent this to anyone. And so you have maybe 3 feet between you and the
Mhm.
drop off and going in and out. So we had a picnic table and that was it. We had no running water, no toilet, no beds, nothing. They did have these, I guess, cinder blocks with
Mhm.
rickety boards that you could sleep on. And so we brought bedding too. And so we put the bedding up on top of those boards, but they were all like misshapen and you only had a foot between you and the top of the cave. The cool thing about it, first of all, also the cave was flooded by like 6 inches of water. Everywhere you'd walk was 6
Mhm.
inches of water. And so the cool thing about it, there was you could hear a waterfall in the back. But all night long, I'm like, is this thing going to flood the cave? Like, are we going to have to run out and waist deep water? But it was at least soothing. Then water dripped all night long from the top of the cave onto our faces, like drip, drip. You couldn't escape it. Then the next morning at dawn, all these bats fly out of the cave. So they
Oh,
were
that's
in there with
awesome.
us
I
all
would
night
love
long.
that.
Yeah, they didn't hurt us. We didn't have any guano on us or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
But that's my experience with bats. Fortunately, none flew into my mouth.
So, takeaways from this is that you probably are not a camper.
Not
You're not a
anymore.
big camper.
I'm an RVer or a
or
cabiner.
glamper, probably.
Glamper, yes.
I could see you glamping.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I used to love to camp.
Mhm.
And now I'm like, okay, where's my inflatable mattress? Where's our streaming video?
Mhm.
I do like campfires.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you give me an RV, especially a cabin, I am game. But never again in a primitive cave with no running water.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
than a waterfall.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to take a quick break. Much more to come when we come back, including on the animal topic, a 5-foot venomous lizard pet that escaped. We'll tell you how they found it coming up.